Tracking a storm system for this upcoming weekend is going to bring some heavy rains and, yes, the possibility of maybe some snows heading toward Christmas Day. I got your updated forecast coming your way next. Hello everybody and welcome back to the Weather Nerds YouTube page. I'm meteorologist Craig Majeski, and as always, I like to always thank all the new subscribers out there. Yeah, we're up to 815 of you, and if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please consider it. Just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, give me a thumbs up or a comment down below, and join this growing weather family. Let's go ahead and take a look at the things you need to know for this broadcast. Three things that we're going to look at. First, the upcoming weekend storm that could potentially hamper some of your travel plans heading toward the Christmas holiday. We'll also take a look at those rainfall totals as well as potential snow totals. Yeah, some folks potentially could see some snow as we head into Christmas Day. And then finally, we'll take a look at the North Atlantic Oscillation and take a look at the forecast as far as trending into the new year. We're going to get colder, or is it going to stay more on the mild side? We'll have more of that here in just a second. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at that upcoming weekend storm in the European model. So we're going to take a look at the European model. We're going to look in at Thursday. We're going to start on December the 21st, and then we're going to take you right through Christmas Day and then right after it. And as we kind of watch things begin to progress, it looks like we're going to see a little bit of change in our overall weather pattern. Now, what we're going to be tracking is this area of low pressure off the California coast first, and there's another piece of energy that's going to be sliding in this way. So we got two pieces of energy that are going to slide in this general direction. We're going to eventually get some cold air to kind of come down out of Canada as this thing begins to progress into the middle of the country. And as a result, we are going to see some snow start to develop as we head into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day across areas here from, say, Colorado and stretching up through the Dakotas in here. At least that's what's currently showing as of December the 18th. So let's go ahead and progress forward here through time as I take you into this upcoming Saturday. So I'm going to freeze it on Saturday, the 23rd, as we go forward into time. So you see here on Friday, got that little disturbance through Texas and Oklahoma, jumping some rains there. And you see the rains there coming into Arizona with that other low pressure system coming into California. Now the one out ahead of it kind of weakens off as it goes into the southeast as we go into Saturday morning. And then we're watching this other area of low pressure that's still kind of hanging back here across the southwest. And this is going to eventually move up this way as we go toward Christmas Day. So watch what happens here as we progress forward again, going into time here, going into Christmas Eve. Notice the snow starting to break out there across areas of Colorado and Wyoming. Yeah, we're starting to get some snows in here as some cold air starts to funnel in this way. And you're seeing the snows breaking out here into Nebraska. So we're going to see the possibility of maybe a white Christmas for some folks as we go into Christmas Day. So watch this as we go going forward into Christmas Eve. This is late in the day on Christmas Eve. Notice the snow is across the Dakotas down to Nebraska and Colorado as that low is getting cranked up a little bit. And notice the rain is increasing across the southeast as well. This is midnight on Christmas Eve, or just after midnight. You're seeing the rains increasing here across the southeast. You're seeing the snows here from Colorado back up through the Dakotas, coming up on the backside of this low pressure system as we go into Christmas morning. So Christmas morning, still seeing a little bit of snow there in the Minnesota and the Dakotas. A lot of decent rains across the southeast. Looks like a wet and rainy Christmas day for areas of Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia especially as this low continues to move on. And still seeing the snows falling there late in the day. This is late in the day on Christmas Day. You're seeing the snows here continuing through Minnesota, Nebraska, and coming down through Texas there a little bit. And I'll circle that once again for you there, right through there, late in the day on Christmas. So white Christmas could be in the cards for some folks as we go into Christmas Day. Now this will continue going forward into the day after Christmas. You've seen the snows there wrapping around the area of low pressure, and you're generally getting a sense of the cold air kind of ushering in here across most of the country as the main jet stream appears to be shifting further and further south. That's going to allow some of the colder air to kind of begin to shift further and further out of Canada as we go into the next 10 days. So that low pressure kind of winds itself up, but notice that what's called the 540 line. I took this all the way out to the end of its run, and you see this colder air kind of settling in here across a bigger chunk of the country. So we could be heading toward a potential shift in the overall weather pattern that's going to allow some of the cold air to kind of settle in across portions of the United States as we head toward New Year's Day. Still a little bit early, we've got 10 days. This can definitely change out. But for right now, what it's looking like for Christmas Day, it's looking awfully wet across the southeast, and we do have the potential for some snows across the plains that could just bring a white Christmas to some folks. Let's go ahead and take a look now at those rainfall totals as well as the snow totals. So we're starting off looking here on Thursday, and we're going to see the residual effects of two storm systems. You've got the one that's exiting the northeast as of the 18th, and then you've got this other one here on the west coast that's dumping some rains here that'll be clearing out by the time we hit toward Thursday. But we're going to watch for this moisture really streaming out of the Pacific. That's really going to kind of ride in here, and we're also going to see some moisture tapping out of the Gulf of Mexico as well, and that's going to allow things to really pick up with the rainfall totals, especially as we head in toward, say, Christmas Day and there just a little after. So I'm going to take you forward here through time as we track those rains increasing across the South Plains of Texas and Oklahoma as we going throughout the day on Friday. And notice the moisture just increasing across a big chunk of the country in some areas that, quite frankly, need it. Going into Christmas Eve, this is late in the day on Christmas Eve. Look how much of the rain has fallen here on Christmas Eve already across areas of the southern plains, across Oklahoma and Texas, and stretching off toward the Gulf Coast here, as well as some areas across the southwest. Now, as I continue to go forward into time throughout the day, on Christmas Day, you see the rains really increase in across the southeast. So by late in the day, Alabama and Georgia are getting in on the act here with some of the heavier rains along the Gulf Coast. You're seeing the yellows in there. It's indicative of up to 3 inches plus, and some pretty decent rains across the southeast. Now, some of these totals up in here may be cold enough where it will actually fall as snowfall. But I want to go ahead and take you out here to the end of this run. As you can see, the precipitation kind of wrapping up there on the end of the 10 days. So some of this across the high plains here will be in the form of snow. So with that said, let's go ahead and take a look at what the Europeans kicking out as far as snow totals. So we're going to go ahead and start this a little bit later on Friday morning, looking at the snow totals. Just a little bit of residual snows across the Great Lakes from the exiting storm system earlier in the week, but what we're going to watch for is the snow that's really going to pick up here across the Intermountain region and into the high plains as we watch the combination of a couple of systems coming together. There's an upper level of the system that's going to kind of drive in this way. You've got the moisture coming up this way, and they're going to kind of tag team up a little bit and bring some snow into some areas heading in toward Christmas Day. At least that's what the Europeans showing right now. Always subject to change, but we're going to watch this very closely. Let's go ahead and track this forward and through time as we go through the 23rd. This is the 23rd. You see the snow's kind of increasing through the Intermountain region as we go through the day on the 23rd. And then as we go into Christmas Eve, you're noticing that morning we're getting snows across areas of Colorado into New Mexico, Utah, generally down in this vicinity in here. And this, over time, is going to be kind of swinging out into the plains and bringing some snow. So let's go ahead and take it further into Christmas Day, shall we? Let's go in throughout the day on Christmas Eve. You notice the snow is breaking out across Colorado and into Nebraska, and then coming up into the Dakotas as we head into Christmas morning. So Christmas morning, we're getting snow on the ground across portions of Colorado, Nebraska, going up into the Dakotas. And then by the end of the day on Christmas, this is the end of the day, about 7 o'clock, you're seeing the snows have spread it up into areas of Minnesota. So you're looking at a swath right through here, potentially seeing a white Christmas with some snow on the ground. And some of these totals here across portions of Colorado and Nebraska could be upwards of 8, 9, 10 inches of snow as this goes through that period. And we'll go ahead and take it out to the rest of the run here as we go into the end of the European model. You've seen the snows kind of increasing across areas of Minnesota and then kind of going up into Canada as we progress to the end of the model run, taking us out to December the 27th. So, is White Christmas in the card for some folks? It's a possibility, but we still got another week to watch this to see how the storm begins to progress. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the North Atlantic Oscillation Forecast and see if we're going to get colder conditions across the United States as we head toward 2024. So most of the month of December, we've seen temperatures across the United States running a bit above average on the warm side. The Climate Center's been constantly putting out these above normal temperatures for the bulk of the country. Now, so go and zoom in here. If you may recall, when at the end of November, after Thanksgiving, early December, most of the country was below average because we were in a negative pattern to the North Atlantic Oscillation. That's the position of the jet stream. When it's in a negative position, we get the cold runs. When it's above the zero line, which is sitting right here, and I'll do this again right through here, then you're talking about conditions that are above normal. So all these little red lines are your forecast models, and the trends do take it down. However, it's still sitting in a positive phase. And what that means is I think we'll see maybe colder conditions or cooler conditions across the United States, but the temperatures may still be running above normal from where they should be as we get ready to enter into the month of January. So we'll see how these models verify as we get closer to the end of the year. As we're going to bring it back to me, I want to once again thank everybody for being part of the Weather Nerds experience. We're getting this page growing a little bit every day, closing in on 1,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please consider it. Just hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. That way you're notified of future uploads. And please leave a comment down below. I always respond to the comments folks leave down below. And if you give me a thumbs up, I would appreciate it. Helps with the YouTube algorithm as I try to build this channel. All right, that's your update for now. You guys take it easy. We'll see you on the next update. Till then, have a great day.